Yo, yo, yo. Good afternoon, good night, good morning, depends on where you are in the world. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little unbiased review on a video I found on, I think their channel is called Great Documentaries. Yeah, so sorry, that's my son. He just came outside for a minute. Yeah, it's about a Nigerian female who is helping to fight off the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria. I think they're in West Africa, not only Nigeria. They're in West Africa and northern Northwest Africa. So I think it's an interesting video because we hear about these warrior queens a lot of times, usually in history, hearing about Queen Nana Asantewa, Queen Nzinga, the Amazonian warriors. They portray a movie recently about the Dahomey warrior, the Dahomey queens, the warrior queens of the Dahomey kingdom. So I just think it's interesting to know that we really have African female warrior queens in real life. And this one is no joke. Shout out to Aisha. Let me get her name right. Aisha Bakari Gombe. Aisha Bakari Gombe. We salute you, Queen Aisha. So we're going to get into it now.
Fighters continues. Boko Haram launched raids on towns and villages from their hideouts in the forests and mountains of this region. Thousands of people have been abducted and enslaved. Homes lie in ruin and families remain torn apart. Boko Haram has shattered the peace of these once harmonious communities. When insurgents took over the key market town of Mubi in 2014, Aisha's immediate reaction was to go and rescue her brother and his family who lived there. Aisha's brother, Mutala, has since returned home. But before Boko Haram were driven out of Mubi by the hunters and soldiers, they burned down the post office where Mutala used to work.
Yanzu ka yi ba gaba daya aka fasa shi ba. Yanzu kan son samu gaba daya a fasa. Don yanzu ko an yi wannan wuta riga ya cinye shi.
Wuta ya riga ya ci ƙarfin ginin ne. So dole ne sai dai a rusa gaba ɗaya a sake gini sabo. Shi ne muke jira yanzu daga wurin gwamnati.
Gaskiya sun yi barna mutane.
Sun yi barna kama an yi barna.
Ina ganin a 'yan ta'adda ma su ne number one a duniya. Allah.
As people in Mubi go about their daily business, the scars of the insurgency are still very visible. Banks remain abandoned with holes blasted in the walls where cash machines and safes were hauled away in broad daylight by Boko Haram fighters who occupied this town for 6 weeks. The insurgents have been chased out of major towns, but now they send suicide bombers to hit soft targets. The vast majority of suicide bombers are girls, some as young as 5 years old. They're kidnapped, brainwashed, and then sent out to kill and be killed. Boys are also targeted and forced to carry out atrocities. And although Boko Haram claim to be fighting an Islamic insurgency, they have sent suicide bombers into crowded mosques. No one and nowhere is safe, not even devout Muslims. The inability of the security services to defeat Boko Haram led local elites to pay for hunters and vigilantes to protect the population. The insurgency sent shockwaves through the American University
umma ba mace ba ko yaro karami ne zuciyan shi ba zai bashi ma ya zauna ba, dole ne ya fusata ya shiga yaƙi don ya sama wa ƙasansa da al'ummansa zaman lafiya.
I admire your courage, and interestingly, she's married. Kina da mai gida ko?
Yana da
Da
shi.
yara.
Have had the story, and the stories have resonated time and again. So they felt that they could no longer rely on the military. So what readily comes to mind, or came to mind at that time, was the hunters, because they're close to them, they're part of them, and they knew what they could do.
Back at home, Aisha prepares for a big day. Her gallantry on the battlefield has made her a local celebrity. This morning, she's appearing on a popular breakfast TV program to talk about the security situation.
A very good morning to you. Yes, as a build up to the discussion on security, we've been joined right about now by the Saronian Yaki, that is of the Nigerian Hunters Association. Her name is Aisha Bakai, and she has been a woman that has been very active in the forefront. She has led hundreds of hunters to the battlefront. But incidentally, she's a woman and very active at doing what she knows how to do best. Aisha, Sanude Zwako. And interesting, I like the outfit this morning.
Yeah. Manufansa cewa kayan da kika sa yau din nan ya burge shi.
Dr. Lionel, let me just get your perspective. The hunters, how would you describe their role so far in the fight against insurgency?
Wow. The hunters are one of the reasons why we have been able to put the pressure on Boko Haram. Boko Haram, they're the ones that they're helping the military and helping the security forces in doing what they do best, which is hunting, searching, fighting, protecting. And whether or not they're out there on the battlefield, they're still in the communities protecting the people of the community. And I personally don't believe that they get enough credit for the things that they do.
Kwarai da gaske mutane ba wai za su faɗa ba, sun faɗa sun kuma faɗa. Amma abin da ya sa idan har mutum ya ga yanda aka wulakanta 'yan adam, aka wulakanta dukiyan al'umma, ba mace ba ko yaro karami ne, zuciyan shi ba zai ba shi ma ya zauna ba. Dole ne ya fusata, ya shiga yaƙi don ya sama wa ƙasansa da al'ummansa zaman lafiya.
I admire your courage. And interestingly, she's married. Kina da mai gida ko?
Yana da
Da
shi.
yara.
To yaran ne Allah bai kawo tuku.
Okay.
Ubangiji Allah zai kawo.
Incidentally, she's married and she's this bold.
Is your husband afraid of you?
Kin gane abin da ya tambaya? Ta ce mai gidanki yana tsoron ki.
Okay.
He should be.
And Aisha, thank you very much. Mungode for sharing your story with us.
Aisha's husband has just returned from work at the Emir's palace, where he first met Aisha in 2016 when she was crowned Queen Hunter. It was love at first sight for Mahamadou.
Yanden fena yugomo ni volda be mako lallai ni fuse ne medi gogoroma ya sosai ne mi dari boddum be git be kujiram sosai be satu go benda sosai kafin ham yottawo min volda ma mi de yeli bo Allah beddabo bura yake ko woni jonta mi de yeli bo Allah jangita mo bura yake ko woni jonta ngam jangitugo ma ko do kanyum jangitugo amin bamtugo daraja ma ko kanyum daraja min bo be deta bamtugo ngam mi gorko ma ko.
Aisha may be happily married at last, but her private life was complicated for many years.
Aure na fari da dalilin da ya sa mutu, ya samu a al'adunmu na nan mafi akasari haifuwa yana ɗaya daga cikin abun da yake matsa mutane a rayuwar aure. Lallai da haka ne, idan na kasance cikin mata 'yan uwana na ga kowa yana ɗan wasa da
Yeah, so far, very, very, very interesting. And very beautiful sister too. See, I told you, man, for anyone that's gonna see this, anyone seeing this, yeah, it's a very good documentary. You should go check it out on their page. I think they're called I think their page is called The Good Documentary. So y'all should go check it out. It's in the description somewhere. But yeah, it's surprising to see the contrast in how a quote unquote strong black woman is depicted in Africa compared to how that same sentiment is depicted in the West, in America, you know, in America and the Caribbean, in Canada, in South America, the Western world. It's up, as you see, this woman, she's doing everything that a man can do. She's in a leadership position, doing a very masculine job, you know, and yet still she retained her feminine essence. Yet still she's a woman. She's a beautiful black woman. She ain't trying to act gangster. You have never heard her speak vile or malicious or, you know, over exuberant towards another person. And I'm saying that because here in America, when a woman or even men is doing stuff of this magnitude, they seem to not retain their humanity, you know. And I say their humanity as in automatically they took on this gangster persona, you know. They took on this archetype as if this is how you're supposed to be. If not, then you're not going to be respected. But yet still, this woman in her country is highly respected, and she did not have to sacrifice her femininity to be respected as a leader, as a warrior, as someone holding weapons, leading troops, fighting against terrorists, you know, putting their life on the line for real, not putting their life on the line for fame, for clout, not putting their life on the line for a block that they don't own. They're putting their life on the line for something real, you know, and that I could respect. And the contrast in behavior, in attitude, is definitely something to admire and to learn from. I'm gonna play some more. And I apologize about the rough start early. You know, my streams are usually like driving down a dirt road, you know. It's always a bumpy ride. But when we get started, we get started. So I'm gonna play some more. I was outside earlier, so maybe that's why the internet was acting up, but no, I'm inside. And as you see, it's playing pretty good. And as I said, man, it's a beautiful documentary. I love seeing things like this. You know, I love to mix it up. I don't have to be on technology, science, religion, politics. I love to kind of mix it up, you know, and whenever I get beautiful videos or clippings from Africa, I'm really excited to show. So everyone could actually see, support, you know, comment, do whatever you want to do. But share in the knowledge. That's it.
da ɗansa dai haka ina sha'awan abun, yana ɗan matsa mini har wani lokaci nakan shiga ɗaki in ɗan yi kuka, amma da yake lokacin akwai yaranta. Amma yanzu da na girma na fahimci lallai haifuwa idan Allah ya kawo shi, in ina da rabo ba zan mutu da shi ba, zan haife shi, to sai na daina sa shi a zuciyana, na ci gaba da abun da yake gabana kawai. Gaskiya idan suka ɗauki yara suka tafi da shi ko mata, raina baya yin daɗi, don a waɗannan lokutan gaskiya ina samun matsala sosai, sai in ji kaman rayuwana ma dai ya ɗan canja mini haka saboda tashin hankalin yaran nan da aka tafi da su. Amma kuma idan samuwa muka yi, muka kwato su, muka ɗauko su, muka dawo da su, ni da in a so na ne, ina so ma a bar mini yaran ne in zauna da su, haka nake jin kwaɗayi a raina. Sai dai gwamnati ba za ta yadda bane don ba da kuɗi.
Ironically, the cultural stigma of not being able to have children is what has driven Aisha to war.
A woman of this caliber, a Muslim woman, in this neighborhood, in uniform, who is doing this much work at this tough terrain is really something to watch, or somebody to watch. We really give kudos to her for what she has done. And she has really gone out there to become an exemplary model to the society, to the community. People talk a lot about her because it's very uncommon. Females are very low in number in paramilitary, in the military. But northern Muslim females are far, far lower. And Aisha Bakari Gombe happens to find herself in this small northern Muslim woman, in this making this effort. So we really salute her courage. We salute her professionalism. We salute the spirit, and we encourage the young woman to really get into that, because there is actually no barrier, in terms of what kind of job you do or how you do it or where you do it. Only that if you can maintain your chastity, you could do it decently, you could respect the rules of natural justice and the conventions of a responsible society, then you could go ahead and do it. Sometimes even the ladies or the female do it even better than the men. So she is really a model that we so much love, cherish, and adore.
A group of huntresses have come to visit Aisha. Bula Yaga, a sadistic Boko Haram commander, is the topic of conversation.
Allah kuma muke roƙo ya gama mu da shi, mu kamo shi da hannu, mu kwantar da shi, mu matan mu yanka shi, wallahi mazan suna tsaye, mu ɗauko shi mu dawo duniya da namansa da kwakwalwan kansa, kowa ya zo ya gani. Shi ne burinmu, mu ma mu rama abin da ya yi.
Yanzu in Allah ya taimake mu. Akwai inda kuke tsammani za a same shi yanzu?
Akwai inda muke, kai ba za mu fada ba, in muka fada ya gudu fa.
Ba za mu faɗa ba.
Akwai. Ni kam a watan 11 mun je mun yi arangama da shi. Watan 11. Da yaransa har da shi.
The hunters' role in the fight against Boko Haram and the potential risk they pose as armed militias has set alarm bells ringing in the capital, Abuja. Aliyu Bega was a member of parliament when the insurgency started in 2009. Now he's a security advisor to the current government.
Bringing in informal actors into a very formal regimented space like the military or the defense forces, it is a means to an end, not an end on its own. So there needs to be a proper legal framework.
Yeah, those guys, they're worried that that her team or her militia doesn't have the proper regulation, certification. He's playing the politics. So he's giving them some pushback, but it's kind of justifiable because their claim is like, yeah, they're doing a good thing now by fighting against the Boko Haram terrorist group. But after they finish fighting off Boko Haram terrorist group, what is to stop them from turning their weapon on us? So they're worried that they're going to just become another insurgent, another rebel group that that takes up territory in their country, which is kind of, it's a justifiable concern, especially in Africa. You can't just give any group of people guns to go walk around. It's a recipe for disaster. So They're not saying that they should disarm them and stop them from fighting Boko Haram. They're saying that they should get some form of regulation in place, so there could be background checks, there could be record keeping, and there could be some form of legal guidelines to abide by, which later on in the documentary, they did get those things in place and get them certified. So that is why I skipped past, because he's just going to talk a long bunch of not so uplifting things, and that's not the point of this documentary.
is to meet up with the bulk of the 130 or so hunters who will go on the mission. Strong, independent women are few and far between in northern Nigeria. Strong, independent women are few and far between in northern Nigeria. A new day and a new mission. Aisha has selected more hunters than she has been asked to by her commander. Some of these brave men and women will be left behind. Aisha's first port of call is to an imam for his blessing.
Thank you.
Her second port of call is to meet up with the bulk of the 130 or so hunters who will go on the mission. It's among these young male hunters who Aisha leads that she is most at ease. Over 2 million people have been driven from their homes by Boko Haram. This refugee camp will be a base for the hunters over the next couple of days. Aisha gathers intelligence from the refugees about recent Boko Haram attacks.
Salaam alaikum. Kuma nan kuke ne? Diga wani gari kuka zo? Daga? Dagu? Dukanku? To me dalilin zuwan ku nan ne? Ba tsoro a ciki ku yi bayani, abinda take dauka kenan shine ya kawo mu, ita ba ta jin Hausa shi yasa nake tambayan ku.
Aisha is led to a woman with a very dark story.
Kuma na ji kaman Boko Haram sun dauke ki. Ke da waye suka dauke ki? Ina yaran suke? Su nawa ne yaran? Yanzu kin samu kin dawo nan, yaya kika dawo? Mu ɗauka wannan. Shi bula ya ga ɗin yana bacci? Kika ɗauki ɗaya a bayan ki, ka ɗauki ɗaya a kafaɗan ki, sai kika bar sauran.
Na bar sauran. Haka kuma biyu.
Rather than stay here, waiting for the military to come to their aid, the refugees have asked for the hunters' help.
16 gaba ɗaya wanda yanzu ba su a gida ko ɗaya.
Haka ne.
An bi mutane mu akalla ya fi 1000 yanzu suna hannun Boko Haram. Ba yanda za mu iya mu tankare su mu kwaci waɗannan mutane. Mun sani nama da jini akwai gazawa amma ba mu da karfi. Mun yi ta kuka wa gwamnati. Ba mu ga mafaka kuka hanya da azaba din mu ci gaba da noma mu duba abun da kuma muka ji aikin hannunka da kake yi domin ka tallafa ka